Hey guys, Civilord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse New Adventures of He-Man Intergalactic, just like the Beastie Boys used to say, Skeletor. This is a Target exclusive, of course brought to us by the fine folks over at, say it with me now, Target. I just said it. No, but of course I mean Mattel. And it looks like the New Adventures subline of Masterverse figures is going to be a Target exclusive thing moving forward, because the new Deluxe Slush Head was a Target exclusive, and the previously released, is it Cosmic Protector He-Man, whatever that variant was called, was also a Target exclusive. Shout out to my buddy Evil Villain for the hookup on that one. I don't have it yet, but I will. And when I get him, I will review him, because I like the New Adventures character designs. I think some of the aliens are pretty cool, especially Optic. I hope we get that guy at some point. But Skeletor here is the one I have, and I gotta tell you, I like him a lot, actually. So, is he gonna be top Masterverse of the year? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We did review Webstore earlier, and there ain't no topping that guy. So, you know, check that review out if you haven't already. All I pretty much did was gush over that figure. But cutting to the chase and getting right into the meat and taters of this review, Skeletor comes with a pair of alternate hands, a fist hand and a grip hand. You're probably thinking, hey, one of those is light blue. Yeah, because this moron, this one right here, not you, me, the one recording this video, got his and Faker's hands mixed up because they are literally the same skull. So, yeah. You win some, you lose some, I guess. So you can't say I didn't show the Faker hand eventually. That said, he also comes with his helmet. Not Darth Vader helmet, mind you, but a helmet nonetheless. As well as his Cosmic Havoc staff. Which looks, it's got some electrodes on it. And some little bat wings there. So that's pretty cool. And he also has this really nice soft goods cape, which I do quite like. Hangs nicely, and unlike the classics one, which I actually used to have, I traded that to Evil Villain for one of the many classics he sent me over the years. This takes up way less real estate. It's like, yes, the sculpt was nice on the classics version, but I do really like this cape. I like how it hangs on him. That said, taking a closer look at the Intergalactic Skeletor, he's got a really cool head sculpt. Look at all that circuitry and stuff on the back. Now, some of this stuff isn't painted, mind you, but it's fine. Looks alright. It's a brand new sculpt as far as I can tell. I don't think anything's reused on this guy. The shoulders have the wiring in them. The arms have the wiring going through them. The hands might be reused. I don't know. Of every Masterverse figure ever. Maybe the crotch is the same crotch as we're used to seeing. He does not appear to have drop downs like Webstore had. At least I don't think he does he? No, he doesn't have drop down hips. But he's got this cool kind of skirt piece that almost feels like it's made out of like a rib cage or something. He's got this armor plate on his chest. He's got this mechanical spine detail on the back. He's got a lot going on, man. He's like some crazy... This looks more like a motherboard infected Skeletor than the actual motherboard infected Skeletor in the most recently announced and up for pre-order now wave of Masterverse figures. Skeletech. He's got the big, giant, kind of 2000X-esque trap jaw arm. That said, as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head can look up and down pretty well. Rotate side to side. That's a little limited. That kind of sucks. Can't really look side to side too naturally. He's got a little tilt. Shoulders can go out to the side. Back down. Rotate all the way around. He's got a bicep twist. Double joint at the elbow. That works pretty well. He's got a swivel in the wrist with a up and down hinge on this hand, which is pretty sweet. So I'm taking partial credit for that. I like that quite a bit. Takes up less room that way. Because you can have the Havoc Staff tilted, you know, kind of upward. He's got the new diaphragm joint. We're used to seeing with this line at this point. Crunch forward. Crunch, well, crunch back, crunch forward. That was a loud, you hear that? Crunch forward. The armor plate doesn't get too much in the way. He can tilt side to side. And he can rotate. This rotation, it's a godsend, I swear. The figures feel so much better in the hand with that. He does have a waist twist. He's got T-jointed hips. He can do the freaking splits without a drop down. Just about. Better than some Marvel Legends. He's got forward and back. I will say the hips are a little tight sometimes, but not as bad as that first wave. He's got a thigh cut. He's got a double joint at the knee. See a lot of range there. I will say out of package, initially he was a little loose here, but not too bad now. He's got boot cut. And then he has, forget which foot was looser. This one. He's got a hinge in the foot with a rocker. I will say, one thing I have with this line, the rockers are a little steep. They don't peg in straight forward into the foot. They kind of peg in at a bit of a diagonal angle, so you don't get the best rocker. Thankfully you get the boot swivel, but a lot of Motu figures, they have the, you know, the boots are kind of sculpted to fit with the leg, the sculpt of the leg. So when you turn them, it looks a little funky, but, you know, I'll give them a pass. Because, again, this is a unique sculpt, and it costs less than a Marvel Legends figure. How about that? That said, gearing him up, let's pop his noggin off. Which actually is a little easier than some figures in this line. Can put on his cape here, if I can find that plastic ring. There we go. I think this is the right side up. I think. Yes. Just sits on his neck like that. Just goes right over top. Kind of have to work with it here. It wants to fold up a lot, but it can be done. Here you go. And we'll pop his head back on. Sometimes you gotta breathe on it to get it to snap on a little easier than it would initially. But that's okay. I'm okay with doing that as long as stuff don't break. I don't have to bust out the hairdryer. Because sometimes that thing scaves my fingers. I don't know if you knew that. But getting his helmet on, that's a little tricky. You gotta really push this thing on. And if you don't do it right, it won't go on all the way. I think it's on all the way. There we go. So there he is with his helmet. If I bend his arm here, tilt his wrist, give him his Havoc Staff. There. And there is Intergalactic Skeletor, ready to ruin He-Man's day once again while sitting on his keister and doing nothing while Flog does all the work. I mean, if you watch New Adventures, that's essentially what happens. I guess it's on Peacock, of all places. So, yeah, interesting there. But with all that being said, do I gotta tilt the camera up a little bit? I do. He's a little too tall. Let me see. Tilt this up a bit. There we go. I think he's all in frame now. Yeah. I might have to adjust a little bit more, but I don't have time for that because now we gotta move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is our new-ish, I know we came in a couple months ago, but he's new to the channel, I guess, Intergalactic Skeletor, alongside a couple other versions of the Lord of Destruction we've gotten in the Life of the Masterverse line. First we have the New Eternia on the left, and the first, that is, Revelation Skeletor on the right. I know the Horde Skeletor is out, I don't have him yet, so we're just gonna rock this old dog for now. That said, isn't there a 40th Skeletor that was supposed to be released at retail at some point. Like, not all of us could afford the 2-pack, Mattel. What's going on with that? That said, of the three, aesthetically, I think the new Eternia Skeletor has both these beat. It's doing something for me. It's almost 2000X, but it's not. But I will tell you, as far as a quality standpoint is concerned, the new Intergalactic Skeletor is the best of the three. He's got the new articulation in the torso. He looks a lot taller than these two, by the way. I don't know if that's accurate or normal or what, but he's freaking huge compared to these two. And unlike the Revelation Skeletor, both the new Eternia and Intergalactic Skeletors have blue skin. Not quite sure why the Revelation ones have kind of a purpley blue / purple skin. It's kind of weird. Didn't look like that in the cartoon last I checked, and last I checked my eyes were broken, so getting these two out of the way. Also, can I just say, the soft goods on this old figure, it's very kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, felty. The soft goods nowadays that we're getting feel a lot more premium and more like something you'd see on a collectible. So I'm all here for it. That said, that cape wasn't horrible, but compared to what we're getting now, it's definitely an upgrade. That said, this wouldn't be one of my videos without bringing in good old Brother Mandibulus from Mythic Legions, or the infamous 11 Spawn, who, I don't know, man, it looks like the Skeletor is a little bigger than Spawn, which is not a common thing on this channel, unless it's, I don't know, something with a big hat, or something that's, you know, mega figure sized, if we're using McFarlane Toys terms. That said, while Skeletor does have a helmet, I think he's taller than Spawn without it. So, with all that being said, it's time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while I must admit that I am not the biggest fan of the New Adventures of He-Man series, those of you who know me well enough know that I am a 2000X kid through and through. I gotta tell you, good old Intergalactic Skeletor here is a bit of a gem in the Masterverse line, so long as you can find him. I mean, I know he's a Target exclusive, but typically those are a little bit easier to find than Walmart exclusives, which, brace yourself, there's about 3 of those coming out in the Origins line soon. But all that aside, I gotta tell you, I think the fine folks over at Mattel did a really good job with this version of the Lord of Destruction, and I think he's one of the highlights of the Masterverse line from this past year, the year 2023, for those of you watching this in the future. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.